Hey guys, Timothy here, aka FC21, bring you my draft recap for the Slowbro's Trick Room Season 2. I am one of the commissioners of the league, and this season I've decided to join in on the fun. And yeah, as you can see, I have been put into the Slowbro division out of the two divisions, and believe it or not, I had first pick. Yeah, totally nuts, as I know. Anything else you should know? I have a cool border for this season, where I can put my Pokemons in for every game. But to let you know, I just thought, let's start off with it. So, yeah, I had the first round pick, and I decided I wanted to start off with Toma of Mohawk, the Tapu Koko. And Tapu Koko is a very fun mon. To start off with, a base 130 speed is, well, not the highest in what is available for Draft League, but it certainly is somewhere up there in the highest numbers of speed stats. It can have a variety of roles. It can be more of a supportive set with light screen and reflect. It can be more of an offensive set with 115 attack and 95 special attack. It can be a mixed attacker. It can set up electric terrain for me. And with just the two weaknesses, it can also be fairly defensive. So, yeah, I think this is a great mon to pick up first round. Mainly because I have already used things like the Dragapult or a lot of other high value mons like Sneasler, and well, I had the chance and I took it for Tapu Koko. And Tapu Koko is first in line of a lot of very strong mons. I think I have drafted a bit top heavy, at least for the start. And yeah, after Tapu Koko I decided I wanted to pick up Butterknife the Kartana. And Kartana on its own is already a great mon. A 109 speed tier is faster than most things. With 181 attack, this thing is a amazing physical breaker. It does get a lot of coverage. With Beast Boost it can really, if it gets a kill in, it can really get out of hand very fast. And even with that 131 defense stat, it can take, well, besides fire and fighting type moves, pretty damn well. So, yeah, it's more of an offensive grass type, but grass being super effective against water, one of the more bulkier types in the game. And a great start of a Fairy Dragon Steel Core with the Tapu Koko, of course. And yeah, it's one of the few steel types that's not super weak to ground type moves, which is nice. Yeah, but just basically having two type weaknesses is pretty damn awesome. So Kartana was the wheel pick for me because, again, at first seed you get wheel picks, and I combined Butterknife with a great special breaker in Iron Moth, aka Hot Lamp. Yeah, like I said, a great special breaker with that 140 special attack stat. Has a 110 speed stat, which is also pretty great to combine with that 109 of Kartana. So I do have two reasonably fast breakers. And with that 140 special attack, you can just hit a lot of things pretty hard. Because of the fire typing, I can hit steel types that I normally can't hit with poison type mon, with the poison typing. And poison can help me hit the fairy types that I normally, that fire, not really struggle. Dragon, I can hit dragon for at least neutral. I can hit rocks for, I'm not sure if, I don't think it's neutral, but still. So yeah, with Quark Drive, it's a nice synergy with the Tapu Koko, because Koko can set up the electric terrain to activate the Quark Drive. So yeah, I think these three Pokemon complement each other pretty well. But going into round 4, I had a decent ground weakness, with Kartana being neutral, Koko having a regular weakness to ground, and Iron Moth a 4 times weakness to ground, which was pretty bad. So I'm surprised it made it all the way back to literally the last pick of round 4. That's Mr. Kitty, the Landorus Therian. Lando T is a, in my opinion, amazing ground type, because it has an immunity to that ground typing, so that's pretty nice. 145 attack is also amazing, so it can be a great breaker besides the Kartana. But this thing has more setup options than the Kartana, so it can also be a setup sweeper with Double Dance, Rock Polish, and Swords Dance. It can be just a more defensive mon with the 90 defense combined with Intimidate. Besides that, it can use the Stealth Rocks. It can set up Stealth Rocks. So yeah, and it doesn't have a decently wide move pool with Rock, Ground. It can be even special with 105 special attack, and it does get the same coverage options as the Lando Incarnate has. So things like Sludge Wave are not off the table. So yeah, a great mon to have. Yeah, ground type is basically needed to get rid of electric types, and I do get ones now, so that's great. I combined Landorus Therian with Mega Slowbro. Yeah, so far I've been pretty offensive with my picks, and I really wanted something more defensive. Well, I got something. Mega Slowbro, aka Hermit, is my most defensive piece of as of now. 95 HP, 180 defense, and 80 special defense are pretty well solid, especially for a physical wall. Shell armor prevents crits, so yeah, with that high defense I can set up Calm Minds and boost my special defense, can get crit because of shell armor, and yeah, good luck breaking through my Mega Slowbro. On the other hand, I can go for Iron Defense Body Presses, and in the end I don't have to Mega Evolve my Slowbro. I can always keep it as a regular Slowbro and make use of his Regenerator ability. So yeah, that's pretty damn awesome if you ask me. So yeah, I'm starting to have a lot of synergy in the team. I have a Firewater Grass Core with Mega Slowbro, Volcarona, Iron Moth, and Kartana. But I lack some special defense, and believe it or not, I got one of the better special defensive Pokemon, and that's, well, not Celtic, the Runerigus. That's something I combined with Runerigus. But for now, Runerigus is a spin blocker for me because of its ghost typing. And with 145 defense and 105 special defense, it's another defensive piece that I could really use. And This thing has the ability to set up both the rocks, stealth rocks, and the spikes, I believe, which is great. So I not only can it block spinners, it can set up the hazards by itself. I'm not sure if it gets the toxic spikes as well. I do believe so. And well, the ground typing was not really necessary, but I had a choice between the Runerigus and the Covagrigus, and Runerigus had a bit more utility options than the Covagrigus. Wandering Spirit is also a nice way of shutting things down, because when I hit something with an attack, it loses the ability and gains the ability Wandering Spirit. So basically, against a Megalopony, I can get rid of Scrappy with the Wandering Spirit and basically shut something like that down against me. Again, it's more of a defensive piece, just like my next one, the one I had in mind for this round, and that was Daniel the Goodra. I don't think I have to say a lot about Goodra. Goodra is a great special defensive wall with that 150 base special defense combined with 90 HP. Yeah, this thing is pretty bulky on the special side, I'd say. 110 special attack and 100 attack makes it hard to predict if what side, if it's going to be a physical or a special set. 70 defense leaves a bit to be desired, but it does get acid armor, so it can basically double its defense and get near the special defensive numbers. And again, I think I had the opportunity to pick either Goodra or the Hisuian Goodra, but because of the somewhat of a ground weakness I already had, I decided against the Hisuian Goodra, and the regular Goodra is a bit faster, so my speed tiers were a bit more aligned this way. Is there anything else to say? Completes my Fairy Steel Dragon Core with the Coco and the Kartana, so I've got my cores checked off completely. It does have a grass immunity with Sap Zipper. It can be a sweep stopper because of Gooey, and making Pokemon go even slower than something else makes it pretty easy to revenge kill. And I named it Daniel after my good friend Daniel K, also a coach in the same division. He already asked me not to bring Goodra, and I said we'll see about that. I don't know his team out of the top of my head, so we'll see if I will bring Goodra. He will probably say I can't, but we'll see. So this was another wheel pick with the Runerigus, so I had to wait a lot of time, and at this point I blew like, let's see, let's think about it. I think I had something like 18 points, maybe 20 points remaining at this point. And I didn't have a Terra Captain, and something important, I didn't have a Z Captain, because in our league you can have both Terra Captains and Z Captains. So those are the only ones that are allowed to either use the Terra gimmick or the Z gimmick. And I was really surprised that one of, in my opinion, the better setup Terra Captains was still there, and I decided to grab one, and it was the Frostmoth, aka Cold Lamp. To start off with, it already has a very above average 125 special attack stat. It does have 90 special defense combined with ice skills, so this thing is already very annoying to break down on the special side. With 65 base speed, it's not that fast, but it does get the Quiver Dance, and Quiver Dance boosts
the special attack, special defense, and speed with a single stage. So get 2 Quiver Dances up, and yeah, Frostmoth will probably outspeed most, if not everything, on your team. Looking at his weaknesses, a double fire and a double rock weakness is not all that great, obviously, but it's a Terra Captain. So, let's say you have a great rock-type Pokemon that you switch into me. While I set up a Quiver Dance, you'll be like, okay, no problem. I'm a rock type, so I can definitely OHKO this. I take some damage, but then I decide to Terra into my ground typing, and your rock type moves are suddenly not very effective on me. I can set up another Quiver Dance, and then I decide to click Terra Blast and completely annihilate you. A possibility. Same goes for something like a fire type. Or let's say a steel type trying to set up against me. Yeah, I do have a fire type as well, which is a great way. I think fire and ice are 2 of the better offensive typings, and ground really helps Frostmoth with its weaknesses. At this point, I have a lot of defoggers on my team, because Coco gets defog, Frostmoth gets defog, Lando did get defog, I believe, or else it was Cortana, but I did not have a spinner. So I decided to pick up a great low budget spinner for 7 points, and that was right around the Hitmontop. Hitmontop is, in my opinion, the best of the 3 Hitmons that you can get. Mainly because his defenses are more balanced with 95 defense and 110 special defense, while both Hitmonchan and especially Hitmonlee, have a less balanced and more focused on either one of the 2. This thing can be a great wall because of Intimidate with the defenses. It can be offensively pretty strong with Technician and having 2, I believe, no, even 3 priority moves. It does get Mach Punch, Bullet Punch, and Quick Attack, I believe. So they boosted by Technician, those are base 60 power all of a sudden. And of course it can spin my hazards on my side away, which is always a great thing to have. Looking at the speed tiers, it's on the lower side of my table. Slowbro and Runerigas are at this point the slowest things with base 30 speed. I have Frostmoth at 65, and then I have Hitmontop with 70. But don't forget, if I use Rapid Spin, it does mean I have a speed boost. So yeah, it doesn't have to be all that hindering. So going into my last what's the word, back-to-back picks, I'll say, because I can't remember the word I was using for it. I had 4 points left, I believe, and for 3 points I wanted to pick up a Terra or a Z Captain, and it was either I had 4 points left and I picked it up for 3, which I believe is correct, or I had 5 points and I picked it up for 4. At least I got Galarian Lanoon, aka Gene. Shout out if you know who I mean with Gene for this. Kinda obvious, but let me know down in the comments. Gene is my Z Captain, and I've did some research on Z Captains, and I think Gene is one of the better Z Captains I could have gotten at this point. Of course, with base 70 attack, it's not all that great for hitting hard, but in a supportive way, this thing can be very annoying to deal with. Z Parting Shot not only lowers the attacking stats of my opponents, but the Pokemon that gets switched in is fully healed, which is great. It does got knockoff support. It is a ghost immunity, which I really needed with the Slowbro and the Runerigas, so I'm glad I picked that up. And yeah, I'm not gonna spoil too much of the fun because I'm not sure how many of my opponents are gonna watch this. But again, I think this thing can be one of the better Z captains I could have picked up, which left me with a single point. And normally you would say, well, leave that point be. Maybe you can use it to pick up something. You can use it for another pickup later, but I decided to spend it because I wanted wish support, and there was one Pokemon that really stood out to me. That's why I ended up drafting the GOAT, Jigglypuff, aka Bieber. Yeah, honestly, this thing is, of course, underwhelming in most departments. I mean, 45 in attacking stats, 20 and 25 in defensive stats, 20 in speed. Yeah, pretty underwhelming. Only redeeming factor is that 115 HP stat. But like I said, this thing gets Wish, and coming from a 115 HP base HP stat, that means it can heal things up pretty well, honestly. It gets Baton Pass, so I get a slow switch out. So let's say you already think I have some Pokemons down by a bit, and you think I want to heal up Mega Slowbro. Psych, I went to Iron Moth because I have slow Baton Pass, and yeah, you didn't know where I was going. So yeah, Jigglypuff will definitely have some value, I believe. So in the end, these are these stats I have for my team. As you can see, my speed tiers are pretty well balanced, I'd say. The gap between Coco and Moth definitely could be better, but besides that, my speed stats are pretty on point. I have 4 mons with a base attack higher than 100 or 100. I have 3 mons with a high defensive stat. I have 5 mons with a high special attack. 4 mons with a high special defensive stat. So yeah, I do have some, and every mon has a stat above, except for I have, yeah, every mon has a stat of 100 or higher, so that makes it pretty great. I do have a slight weakness to flying types because Frostmoth and Hitmontop have a flying weakness, but if I terrestrialize my Frostmoth, that flying weakness immediately goes away. I also have a slight fairy weakness with Goodra, Hitmontop and Lanoon being weak to fairy, but I do have Iron Moth with a 4 times resistance, and yeah, both Katana and Iron Moth resist fairy. I can use Iron Moth for the special fairies and Katana for the physical fairies, so not all that worried about that either. So yeah, this is the team for for at least week 1. I'm not planning on making any transactions, but this is the team that we start off the competition. I really do like this team, and I am really curious about what we can what we can manage to do with this team. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you are as hyped as I am to use this team, because I really do like this team again. And yeah, let's go to week 1 where we will play Wally. Thank you all for watching as always. Hope you have a good one, and I see you next week for week 1. Bye!